Lady Marjorie Snellthorpe could hear her cousin-in-law huffing and puffing while they waited for permission to leave the aeroplane. After years of not seeing each other, Marjorie and Edna Parkinton had found themselves thrown together in Amsterdam at the start of a river cruise holiday the previous year. The two women had ended up sharing a room, following a mix-up with Edna's booking. This holiday in the Scottish Highlands was to be their third joint trip since fate brought them together. Marjorie couldn't help feeling she had somehow slumbered into the friendship or companionship from her side, if truth be told. Almost in spite of herself, Marjorie was growing to like Edna, although acknowledging most of her cousin-in-law's vulgarities and behaviours would never change. But whether they could ever be truly close depended on Marjorie's ability to forgive, if not forget, the battering Edna had inflicted on the love of her life, whom she would miss every day until she, too, left this earth. The captain's announcement and the unfastened seatbelt sign signalled it was time to leave. "Come on, Marge, it's time for our jollies," Edna's holler broke through her musings. Marjorie exhaled, realising she had been holding her breath. "Good," she said. "Do you need me to call the stewardess to assist you?" Marjorie glared into Edna's deep brown eyes. "No, thank you. I'm quite capable of disembarking an aircraft on my own, as you well know. If you would be kind enough to reach for my hand luggage from the overhead locker, though, I'd appreciate it." Marjorie's small stature was a hindrance at times, especially when she had to depend on Edna, who was bound to gloat. The predictable grin as Edna stood in the narrow aisle told her she was right. Her cousin-in-law's bulk blocked the way of a hen party trying to exit. There followed a slow and deliberate removal of their hand luggage while she commandeered the aisle. It was intentional, of that there was no doubt. Edna held her position, waiting for Marjorie to get up from her seat while the complaining crowd, who had been raucous throughout the flight, murmured amongst themselves. A few of them were tutting loudly. "Hurry up, missus, we ain't got all day," one girl further down the line yelled. Edna rounded on them before barking, "On the contrary, your party doesn't start until 8 at Glenmoriston Townhouse, was it? Before that, though, you're going to try to meet up with a few Inverness laddies. After all, it's Carla's last night of freedom. By my reckoning, you've got plenty of time." The young woman immediately behind Edna flushed red from the neck up. "Sorry if we got on your nerves. We didn't mean to be so loud." "It's quite all right." Marjorie broke the impasse. "We were young once. Now come along, Edna. I might need your help to disembark after all." Once they were off the aeroplane, Marjorie was pleased there was no further fracas between Edna and the hen party, just a little muttering about the old bag, giving them a hard time. Edna smirked. "That told 'em. They didn't need to tell the old bloomin' plane what they were up to. Next time they'll be better behaved." "I doubt that. And for my part, I enjoyed their excitement. It's rare one hears unbridled joy these days. Far better than listening to you crowing on about your days as a singer," went unsaid. "I can't see what's pleasant about suffering a bunch of silly young women giggling the whole way up here, but if you say so, Marge. And I can't see why you feel the need to get into an argument with complete strangers over trivial things. It really is beyond me." Edna thrust Marjorie's hand luggage at her. "Let's get a move on. I'm looking forward to seeing Horace again, and I bet you can't wait to see your Fred." "His name is Frederick." Marjorie gritted her teeth. "And mine is Marjorie," she thought, but said, "What I am looking forward to is seeing more of the Highlands. Ralph loved Scotland, but spent most of his time up here fishing, so I often passed on his trips and let him go with—" Marjorie paused. She'd almost let slip he went with Johnson, the chauffeur, a sure way of reminding Edna of her perceived misfortunes. "I have to admit the extra few days at Loch Ness could be exciting, as long as we don't go out at night." Edna blew out a breath, wiping her brow. "That's an odd thing to say.